no telling where I'll be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'll be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'll be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'll be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'll be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'll be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know.
All praise to the Heavenly Father. Shalom, 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 Israel. Let me do this real quick. Salak, your family. Boom. All right, perfect. So, shalom, Israel. You already know what it is. It's 9. Okay, we started on time, y'all. But it's 9:50. That means it's time for Sound Doctrine with your boy Darash. Tonight, and probably for the next few weeks, we're going to get back into this marriage thing. And here's why. Marriage is so pertinent and important in the Israelite community. Problem is, while it is the most important, and even to a degree the most talked about, it's also the least important and the least talked about. Now, what do I mean by that? It sounds stupid, right? So what I'm saying is, people want to talk about different aspects of marriage. Oh, polygyny. Oh, the order. Oh, the man not providing. Oh, the woman not submitting. Oh, this, and that. We hear that all the time, right? But we don't hear often about the beauty of marriage. We don't hear often about how to put yourself in a position where your household is run properly. Your marriage is running in harmony. As the scriptures say, you guys are able to be heirs together with Yahweh Shai. We don't know how to get to the point of Ephesians 5:22, how to get the woman to submit as she would unto the Lord. We don't know how to get the man to love the woman as herself. These lessons are very important, but a lot of times they're overlooked. And a lot of people forget the foundation of the nation are the various tribes and communities. The foundation of those various tribes and communities are the families. The foundation of the families are the marriages. So if the marriages are messed up in Israel, the communities are going to be messed up. If the communities are messed up, the nation will be messed up, right? And so it's very important that we understand marriage in Israel. Not just know, not just hear about it. It's very important that we actually understand marriage, right? So I've done like 2, 3, 4 different series on marriage, and I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, 5 more, because this is one of the most important aspects of this walk. And as much as people don't understand that, it doesn't take away from the fact that that's just what it is, right? So we're going to get into it. The title of tonight's lesson, Through Torah, because we back in the law, we back in Torah. Through Torah, sex and the marriage covenant, right? So a lot of people don't understand what the covenant of marriage is. A lot of people are making up their own definitions of what exactly constitute marriage in Israel. A lot of people are deciding that my interpretation of what I believe is going on here is what trumps what actually is going on here in the scriptures, right? You got some people that teach, what is marriage, what isn't marriage, what can you do, what can't you do, when is a marriage considered valid, when is it not, and at times it's not biblical. So let's look in the Bible, remove how I feel. I had a conversation with a sister about this just the other day. Probably yesterday. Just the other day. How you feel don't matter. How I feel don't matter. Let's remove feelings and let's deal with objective biblical truth, right? So, sex and the marriage covenant, right? Let's open up with this. Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4. read that when you got it. Lord willing, we're going to get some edification tonight. We're going to feed some souls. We're going to save some souls. We're going to strengthen some foundations. We're going to strengthen some understandings.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and in the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
So the scriptures tell you that marriage is honorable above all. If an individual wants to be intimate with a woman, if a woman wants to be intimate with a man, be married. Marriage is an honorable thing. Why is marriage an honorable thing? Because there is a level of maturity and responsibility that comes with marriage. As a man, you have to be ready to protect spiritually, physically, provide spiritually, physically. And though that sounds like just so little, it ain't there. That's just the umbrella. There's so much that looks like. Protecting and providing is a huge thing. You have to provide logic at times. You have to make certain decisions that could possibly make or break the family. You have the final say in certain situations. And here's the thing, even having that type of power, you have to have a certain type of spirit to be able to wield that type of power. You being the leader is also you being the biggest servant in the house, because the scriptures say the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, the more humble you must be. You're the greatest servant in the house. Your wife is a servant too, but nobody's greater a servant than you. Even to the point of you're in situations, and people talk about this now even on podcasts. My woman expects me to die for her, right? Lay down my life for her, right? And we talk about it too biblically. Biblically, how Christ was what's the word? Christ was expected to lay down his life for the church. That's how we supposed to love our wives, right? It's a great ordeal. There's a level of maturity that a man must have. There's a level of maturity that a woman must have. Submission. A lot of people today, that's just a word. But what is submission? Submission is, this man is my leader. This man is my protector, my provider. Whatever he says goes. Sometimes I may feel away, but I have to possess the faith in God and the emotional maturity and the emotional regulation to be able to willfully give over all of my power to this man. A lot of people decide I'm going to become married before I become a wife. I'm going to become married before I become a husband. That is a scary, terrifying thing, because that's why a lot of these marriages fail in the nation. There takes a level of cognitive, mental maturity, spiritual maturity, emotional maturity, and emotional regulation in order to be married. That's why marriage is honorable above all. That's why Hebrews 13 says what it says. Marriage is honorable above all. Now, what constitutes this marriage? Some people will say, oh, you need a marriage contract. Oh, you need something in writing. Oh, it's just, sex. Oh, it's sex, but all of these steps that lead up to it. What constitute, according to the Bible, what constitutes marriage? Spoiler alert. Once you lay down with a woman, that's your wife. Now, here's the thing, and you're probably going to be like, what? Sex is marriage or sex is fornication. Sex is marriage or sex is fornication. Now, is that a contradiction? Is that an oxymoron? No. We're going to get into the scriptures to gain some understanding, right? Sex, when I say sex is marriage or sex is the consummation of marriage, Once two consenting adults say, this is what I want. I'm ready to be with you. I'm ready to take care of you. I'm ready to submit to you. Let's lay down and make this official. Y'all married. However, if two consenting adults decide, let's just around. Let's just lay down, no strings attached. Let's just sleep around, but there's nothing that's meant to be outside of this. That's now fornication. That's whoremongering. That's being a harlot. That's being a whore. You also have other aspects of fornication because people argue, well, how is sex, marriage, and fornication? Simple. The circumstances that surround it. If they say, we agree to be together forever and we're going to consummate and make this official, I'm going to take care of you as my wife, you're going to submit to me and take care of me as your husband, we lay down and we cement that, we're married. Unless the woman is already married, that's called what? Adultery. Unless they're brother and sister or aunties and nephews or half, what would you call it? Stepmoms and stepsons. Or what was the other one? There's a number in Leviticus 18 that shows you where sex is not marriage, right? Near of kin is fornication. That's called incest. Laying with an animal, it's not marriage. It's bestiality. Laying with a woman who already has a husband, it's not marriage. That's adultery. But two single individuals or a single woman laying with a married man who has vowed to say, I'm going to take care of this individual and so on and so forth, that is marriage, the consummation of marriage. Here's the thing. Let's get into the scriptures and see what the scriptures say. Because, unfortunately, we have a lot of opinions, a lot of which are not validated in the scriptures. So let's open up with the law. Exodus 22. While we're doing that, let me go here. Let's see if I can pull this up. Exodus 22. And let's read verse 16.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16. Mm-hmm. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, mm-hmm. he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
So if a man entice a maid, what does it mean to entice? Lure, I like that word. What else? Persuade. Game her up, whatever you want to call it, right? If a man, what did you say? Convince. Right. If a man entices a maid, anyone confused as to what a maid is? A maid is a young woman of marriageable age that has not been laid with, a virgin, but a virgin who's of marriageable age, right? If a man entices a maid and they lay down together, right? He shall surely endow her to be his wife. Read verse 17.
Verse 17. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, mm-hmm. he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
He shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins, right? Flip over to Deuteronomy. So the scripture said, if a man entice a maid, they lay down, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. What does that mean? If you guys have laid down one with another, you shall endow, meaning you shall surely ensure that you are going to perform the duties of a husband to her from that point forward, right? Let me see something. Mahar. which is the word for endow, mahar, right? To hurry, to speedy, to swift, hastening, quickly, speed. Oh, Salaki, hold on. I think I clicked over one. Yeah, I did. 1 second. Let me go back. Here it is. Mahar. To obtain in exchange. To acquire by paying. To give a dowry, right? So, if you lay down with this woman who was not married, whatever the dowry is that the father puts out there, you must pay that. Here's the thing: the father may not give a dowry, but you must pay for what you have done. Doesn't mean y'all not married now. You still now have to perform the duties of a husband to her. That's it, right? Now watch this. We have another scripture that backs up this scripture. For those of you who are not familiar, we have the book of Deuteronomy. The word Deuteronomy actually comes from a Greek word, which means repeated law. So when you read Deuteronomy, you'll see a lot of the same laws that were written in Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, right? And then Deuteronomy is literally reiterating the bulk of what transpired from Exodus through Numbers. So this law is reiterated in the book of Deuteronomy. Read Deuteronomy chapter 22. And verse 28.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, and verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin.
Again, that's a maid. A damsel that's a virgin is the same as a maid, a young woman of marriageable age, but she has not been laid with. Go ahead.
Which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver.
50 shekels of silver, which was the what's the word? Not default. The standard dowry for a virgin. 50 shekels, right? Read on.
And she shall be his wife, because he had humbled her. He may not put her away all his days.
Now it says she shall become his wife. Now again, this is just a precept that substantiates Exodus 22, further clarifies Exodus 22. They're saying the exact same thing. If you lay with the woman, you entice the woman. It says lay hold. You look up that word, it literally means to captivate. If you captivate this woman, you entice this woman, you lay with this woman, then you must pay the father what is owed, which is the dowry of virgins. Of course, she has to be a virgin. And you cannot put her away. You must begin to perform the duties of a husband at that point. So if you guys have made the agreement, even as adults, you say, I like you, you like me, I want to be married to you, and you guys decide to lay down, y'all married. Now, do you owe the father? Absolutely, you owe the father. If the father didn't know about you or didn't greenlight you or whatever the case is, you owe him the dowry of virgins or whatever it is that he may require as the dowry. But some people teach, I was going to get that later, I guess I'll deal with it now. Some people teach, well, if the dad said no, then he can disannul the marriage. That ain't Bible. That's why the scriptures say if he utterly refused, then you need to pay him. Because here's the thing. We can get married and he could approve and he could want nothing. He could be like, I want you to just take my wife. I want you to just, do what I know you're going to do. Look out for her, take care of her, provide for her, protect her, so on and so forth. But at minimum, you owe me the dowry of a virgin if I didn't even greenlight this marriage. Can they now say, you owe me the dowry of a virgin, and I'm keeping my daughter? Some people teach they can. Some people teach they can. But watch this. Let's go to the scriptures. Go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 42, because these are some things to take into consideration. Ecclesiasticus 42 and verse 9. Start at verse 8. Sirach and the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus 42 and verse, let's start at 8. Let me double check. Sirach chapter. No, maybe it starts at. It might start at 8. I'm thinking that it ended at 8, but I could be wrong. It might start at 8. 42 and verse. I'm at 41. Oh, you know what? Verse 9. It starts at verse 9. Salakia.
This
Read
is the
that.
book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 42 and verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep.
Come on.
When she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age.
Lest she decide to lay down with someone. Lest she pass away the flower of her age. The father is looking out for the daughter. It is his job to look out for his daughter, and it takes away sleep. You got to be vigilant with your daughter. Why? Because women are what you call emotional creatures. Sometimes they don't make the most logical decisions, so it's your job to be on top of them to ensure that they make the right decisions. And you're going to lose sleep if you're really on them, right? Looking after them. It says, when no man knoweth, meaning when she sleep, when everybody's asleep, you going in, you checking in on her and things of that nature, right? Then it goes on to say, it taketh away sleep when she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age, and being married, lest she is hated. So now it's going through a list of things as to why you look out for your daughter, why you're watching her. Is she going to pass away the flower of her age? Is it going to be a situation where she's not marriage material, you didn't look out for her, and she surpasses the flower or the prime of her age, and she don't get married? Number 2, and being married, lest she should be hated. If she does get married and you wasn't on top of her about being a virtuous woman, is she going to be hated? Or is she going to make the wrong decision and be with a wicked nigga that's going to hate her to be able to put her away? Is she going to make the wrong decisions because of you? Verse 10, read verse 10.
Verse 10. In her virginity,
In her youth, not literal virginity, but while she's young, read.
lest she should be defiled.
Lest somebody should lay with her and she be defiled, meaning she laid down with someone that was not approved of. Read on.
And gotten with child in her father's house.
Read.
And having an husband, lest she should misbehave herself.
So if you aren't keeping a sharp eye on her, lest she end up with a husband, she wasn't brought up right, and she ain't acting as a righteous, virtuous woman, the one that you should have been rearing up, and she make you look like an ass clown, right? And then it says, and when she is married, lest she should be barren, right? Now, the part that I want to focus on, because this says the father has to look out for his daughter, lest these things can happen. The part that I want to focus on in verse 10 is the first part. In her youth or in her virginity, lest she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house. If the father is able to, let's say, repossess the daughter from the dude, right? What if he impregnated her? Whose kid is that? Because the argument is that people will sit there and say, oh, the woman can, the father can disannul the marriage. The woman can then be set back up to go remarry someone else that the father wants to marry. What if she's pregnant? Who takes care of that kid? Whose kid is that? Because by law, biblical law, that is the lineage of the other dude. And he's still alive. So what we doing? Baby daddy, baby mama situation? Like what exactly is the situation? Right? Now, if a woman gets pregnant in her father's home, the whole purpose of the scripture was to say that's a dishonorable thing. Sirach 42, 9 through 11 is telling you the father has to look out for the wife lest she bring dishonor on his name. One of the ways she brings dishonor is getting pregnant in her daddy's house. So it's a dishonorable thing. So we know it's not something that he okayed. It was against our culture or frowned upon in our culture, right? So pops get mad and say, you pregnant in my house. Who was it? I didn't approve of him, and now he can revoke the marriage. Who possesses the kid? What do we do with the kid? What do we do with that? We will now begin to breed a whoremongering nation and bastard children if we decide and say, oh, the dad can disannul that. No, you can't. Does that man now owe you? Absolutely. But they locked in. That's it. That's why right here in Sirach 42 it says, look after your daughter. Stay on top of your daughter. Raise up your daughter the right way so she trusts you enough to allow you to make those decisions for her and she doesn't end up in this type situation. Yep, let's read verse 11.
Verse 11. Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter.
Now, if you got a shameless daughter, you really got to keep a tight eye on her. Read.
Lest she make thee a laughingstock to thine enemies.
Unless she show her behind and got you out here looking like a whole clown. Read.
And a byword in the city.
That's crazy. Becoming a byword in your city because your daughter out here thotting. Because your daughter out here with no self-control because she in every man's face. They like, man, we know who daughter that is. You know, we use the phrase fatherless activities. Like when we see certain things on social media, that person clearly didn't grow up with a daddy. Or we find out that they did have a daddy. That person daddy was what we call a poodle. That person daddy was a terrible father. That person's daddy is a dishonorable man. Imagine because of what your daughter is doing, everyone's looking at you like, damn, you failed. You're a failure of a father. It says you need to stay on top of your kids so they don't make you look like that. Come on.
And they reproach among the people and make thee ashamed before the multitude.
That's crazy. So it tells you the father needs to stay on top of his daughter and watch over his daughter at all times and keep a tight eye on her to ensure that doesn't happen. But here's the thing. If she do lay down with somebody else, if she do get pregnant if she do get pregnant by somebody in her father's house, that don't now mean daddy can just disapprove it, disannul it. That's not how that works. Because again, what we gonna do with this child? This child's gonna be a bastard? No, because by law, we have a marriage contract. For a woman who is a virgin, we have a marriage contract. It's not the same as the one in America. It's not the one that certain congregations tell you must get or you're not married, because that's not biblical. But we do have it. We do have it. Watch this. Let's go to Genesis chapter 16. And then we're gonna get to that point in a minute. Genesis chapter 16. We're going to start at verse 1.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 16 and verse 1. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children.
Right.
And she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar.
Right. So Sarah couldn't get pregnant, so she has this handmaid, Hagar. Right. Read.
And Sarai said unto Abram, behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing.
So the Lord has closed Sarah's womb. She like, I can't have kids. Read.
I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her.
So she said, go lay down with Hagar. So she can have a kid, but that kid will be my kid for you. She's basically going to be the surrogate, but this is going to be my child. Read.
And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai.
So he listened to his wife. Come on.
And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife.
To be what?
To be his wife.
So he laid down with Hagar, and now he's taking care of her as a husband. She is now his wife. What contract we drew up? What letter? What permission from the government did we acquire in that regard? But let's continue on. Let's jump over to Genesis 24. We'll hang out in Genesis for a little second. And also, I'll get to it after this scripture, because what's going to happen is, see, these Israelite niggas, they be talking about this, and that, and they teach sex is marriage because they got a fornication spirit and da-da-da-da, right? Matter of fact, I'll say it now. I'm not saying that the man does not have to go to the father to request the hand in marriage. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's not law that if he decides not to, that he can't now marry this woman or it's a sin. Would it be wise to do so? Absolutely. It will remove so many in-law problems. But it's not, if he doesn't do it, it's not a sin. If he doesn't do it, it's not, oh, the father can come in and say, hell no, you can't, no. You can't do that. Would it be wise? Should you? Absolutely. Why would you not want the blessing of the father-in-law? Why would you not want the blessing of your in-laws overall so you don't have any friction or issues? I'm not saying don't do that. But what I'm saying is the Lord placed as a safeguard, hear me out. The Lord placed as a safeguard specifically for women that sex is the consummation or completion of marriage. Why? Really, it's for the nation, but specifically for women, because niggas will lay with you and try to up and leave. The Lord put it in there and said, if you lay with her, you sleep with her, you keeping her. What does that do? Why is sex being married so important? Because it prevents mindless fornication like what's going on today. If people understood and the nation and our people decided we rocking with, if you lay down with her, you need to stay with her. You know how many people would second guess before they lay down with somebody? Oh, she cute. Oh, she bad. Oh, but she got a mouth on her. I'm good. Oh, she don't know how to cook or clean. I'm good. Oh, she a little airhead. She dingy. I'm good. Oh, he cute, he handsome, he tall, he's 6 feet, he make money, he do. Oh, but he's abusive. I'm good. Oh, he cute and stuff. Oh, but he dumb. I'm good. Oh, he don't know how to provide. I'm good. It'll make you think twice because what happens now is, oh, he ain't cute, or excuse me, he cute, she cute, whatever the case is. But I wouldn't marry them, but I'd hit. The Lord said, no. That's not what's going on. So he implemented the consummation of marriage being once you guys lay down together to prevent all of that. So to sit there and say that that's not the case is crazy. The Lord knew what he was doing. Lay down with this woman. Once you insert yourself in her, there is something in the scriptures that we will see in a moment that indicated y'all locked in forever. And it was through you guys laying down with one another. It is a safety valve, a safety net, a safety for our people. So we would think twice. And for us to up our game. I want to get married, but I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to clean. I'm not diligent. My spirit ain't right. I run my mouth a lot. I don't know how to keep myself in check. I need to work on those things if I really want a man. I want to get married, but I don't know how to provide. I'm not responsible. I'm not a good leader. Financially, I'm not in a good place. Financially, I don't have any drive or desire, so no woman's going to want me, so I need to up my game. If we treated everything like if we treat it like the law says marriage is supposed to be, how much greater would this nation be? If we didn't act off of lust, if we didn't mingle in Babylon with this truth. Because people be just hot in the pants and they say, well, technically sex is marriage, fuck it, let's do it. Knowing this person ain't got no husband qualities. This woman ain't got no wife qualities. Now y'all pissed off and niggas just divorcing left and right. Oh, that's the other argument. Oh, would they give a bill of divorce? Why wouldn't there be a bill of marriage? There is. It's just not a certificate. If you read the law, you would see that. We'll get it in a minute. Don't worry about it. So, sex is the fulfillment, consummation, completion, concrete sealing of marriage. That's just one example. Go to Genesis chapter 24. Let's read verse 67.
There's the book of Genesis, chapter 24 and verse 67.
That's fine. Let's read verse 67. Now you can start from the top and read. Honestly, you probably have to start from like verse 34. So you'd end up reading like 30, almost 40 verses to get the context. So what happened was Abraham sent his servant to find his son a wife. They found a wife, talked to the daddy. Pop said, hey, Rebecca, you want to go? She said, cool, I'll go. He got a good name. Y'all trust him? Cool, I'm a slide. Wasn't no contract, no nothing involved. She pulled up. She said, who's he? Servant said, that's your husband. She goes, cool, say less. Put her veil on, showed signs of submission. Verse 67, let's read that.
And Isaac brought her into his mother's Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
So took her into her mother's tent, and she became his wife. What'd that mean? They went in there, they had a wedding, there was a priest. They said, sign this documentation. What does this mean? Nah, he went in there, and they laid down together. Exactly. There was no certificate. Now, again, we're going to get to the other things, too, because some people will say, well, sex alone is not marriage. Here is why. You must ask the father. You must do this. You must do that. You should do this. You should do that. But will it make a marriage null and void if you decide not to? No, it won't. That's why the law is in place. If you decide to go behind the father's back and do that, you got to pay that man whatever it is that he's asking for. Because the dowry isn't always money. We've seen that with Jacob and Rachel. Work for me 7 years. I got you. You got my other daughter. But if you really want the one you want, work for me 7 more years. It wasn't 50 shekels. It was work for me. So whatever it is that you're going to owe the father, you're going to owe the father that. Bare minimum was 50 shekels. That was the standard. If you owed something more or had to do something more, that was law for the dowry of a virgin. Genesis 29. Right now we talking about, is it the contract or is it the laying down with one another? Clearly, we gonna see over and over. It's not a contract. You ain't gotta have nothing in writing to be considered married. What did I ask for? Genesis 29, verse 16. We're gonna be reading for a little second. We're gonna read like 10 verses. Genesis 29, verse 16.
There's the book of Genesis, chapter 29 and verse 16. And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel.
So Rachel and Leah, Jacob and Laban, this whole situation is what we're about to read, right? So 2 daughters. I'll summarize it so we don't have to read all the scriptures. Leah wasn't as attractive to Jacob as Rachel. Jacob loved the heck out of Rachel, thought she was the baddest thing walking the earth. Laban, in verse 19, we read, Laban said, I'd prefer to give her off to you than to anybody else. This is what we'll do. Work for me for 7 years, and you can have her. He worked for 7 years. Verse 21. Let's read verse 21.
Verse 21. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
He said, give me my wife. Why did he call her his wife? Because also, I forgot to mention, a betrothal is technically synonymous with a marriage. What do I mean by that? Once you're betrothed, in certain regards, you're already, once you're betrothed, you're already promised to that man. So y'all basically married. She can't talk to no other person. If she lay down with another person, they both get stoned because that was supposed to be yours. You're working it off. You're working for your possession to marry and lay with her. Y'all already locked in. Y'all just haven't consummated. So if you guys are engaged or betrothed, this as if you are married, minus the actual consummation. So he said, give me my wife. Meaning she's going to be my wife today. We supposed to be together. Give her over to me, right? Read on.
And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast.
So now they're having a feast or a wedding. Read.
And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter.
He took who?
Leah, his daughter.
So he took Leah instead of Rachel. Laban snuck Leah in the tent. Jacob had a little too much to drink. He was tipsy. It was nighttime. It was dark. They ain't had no, night light, no blue light, no red light, no none of that. It was just, they might have had a lantern, but, I mean, you have enough to drink. Sometimes you can't tell the difference. So that's what happened with Jacob. We got to be honest. That's what happened with Jacob. He was tipsy. He was excited. He said, I got Rachel. He been drinking. It's dark in the tent. Read on.
And brought her to him. And he
brought Leah to Jacob. Go ahead.
And he went in unto her.
And he laid with Leah. Read.
And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah, and he said to Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
So he woke up and was like, oh, hell no. And he went out. He pressed Laban like, bro, the agreement was for Rachel. This is important. The agreement was for Rachel. He laid with Leah. If he didn't want Leah and he felt deceived, why did he keep Leah? Because he was locked in. He was locked in. They laid down. They were locked in at that point. And again, I'm going to show you something in the Torah where we talk about the covenant, the token of the covenant, as they call it. But they was locked in at that point. So Laban says, all right, bro, so look, the custom is on this side, we usually give the older daughter first. But work for me 7 more years and I'll give you Rachel. Then he did work 7 years and got Rachel. And they laid down and they consummated. But here's the point. There was no contract or nothing. As a matter of fact, Jacob got fooled. He was like, this ain't who I wanted. If it was okay for, if laying down with one another wasn't marriage, he could have been like, nah, you tricked me, you fooled me, I'm dumping that out of here. I don't even want her. But he didn't. Why? Because he understood as a righteous man, damn, he got me. I got to take care of this woman. I got to be a husband to this woman. I don't want to be a fornicator, so I'm going to perform my duties as a husband to this woman now. That makes sense? We making a little bit of sense right now? Again, no contract. Genesis 30. Genesis 30 and verse 1. Watch this.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 30 and verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die.
Give me children, or else I die. So Rachel like, Jacob, what's up? Your little swimmers ain't swimming. Help me. Help me. If you don't give me no kid, which also sidebar, that was the important, like our women today do not understand the importance of bearing children. It's a burden to them. Our women back then was like, yo, shoot up the club. I need some kids. If you don't give me no kids, I'ma die. Like that's how, like they so damn dramatic. Like, give me kids or I'ma die. What? But that's how serious it was. That's how serious it was. Give me kids or I will die. That's just a sidebar. The importance of having kids in that particular time and in our culture, our people, the importance of childbearing. Anywho, give me kids else I die. Read on.
And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel.
Right.
And he said, Am I in God's stead? Who had withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?
He said, it's not my fault you can't get pregnant. Am I God? I don't make these decisions. God does. Read on.
And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her.
So same thing that happened with Sarah. She said, take my maidservant, lay with her. so I can have kids through her. She can be my surrogate. Watch this. Read.
And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife.
So who?
To wife.
So one more time.
To wife.
What that mean? What that mean? What that mean? But hello? Take her. Get her pregnant. That's your new wife. Where's the contract? But I'm going to show you in the scriptures in a minute. That's what it. And that's where people get things confused. It don't matter how you feel. It's what does the Bible say? We seeing the examples over and over and over and over. We saw it in the law already. We saw what the Torah says. We saw it. Read on.
And Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God had judged me and had also heard my voice and had given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan.
So, he lay with her and she was now his wife. No contract, no permission from the government, none of that. Just crack that open, Jacob. That's it. But not exactly. I'm going to show you in a second. 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel. We just running through these scriptures so we can see the examples in the Bible of what constituted the marriage. 1 Samuel. Chapter 25. 1 Samuel 25, verse 39.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 25, and verse 39.
Read.
And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be the Lord that had pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and hath kept his servant from evil. For the Lord hath returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head.
So, and this is actually kind of funny. I've read this a number of times and it just clicked. So David, if y'all all know the story of Nabal and David, David looked out for Nabal, asked Nabal for some food. Nabal said, he gave him the middle finger salute, said, go back to him, run and tell that. David said, all right, we about to kill this nigga. Abigail looks out, saves Nabal's head. Nabal is now dead. And David's plea was, thank the Lord for getting rid of this evil nigga and keeping me from having to do evil. So David knew what he was about to do was wrong, but he was like, nah, he got to go. This wicked, disrespectful nigga got to go. That's just a sidebar. I thought that was so funny just reading this and hearing that. Like, it just registered in my head. He said, you kept your servant, David being the servant, you kept your servant from this evil. You killed him instead of me having to go down there and do it. Don't mess with the Lord's anointed. Sidebar. So, he prayed to the Most High, thanked the Most High, all of that good stuff, right? Read on.
And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife.
Wait, read that again.
And David sent and communed with Abigail.
So David said, hey, go get that cute righteous sister. Bring her down here. So sent and communed. So then he was chilling with her. He was talking to her. He enticed her. He gamed her up. And did what?
To take her to him to wife.
To take her to him to wife. Read.
And when the servants of David were come to Abigail to Carmel, they spake unto her, saying, David sent us unto thee to take thee to him to wife.
David, look, I'm going to tell you straight up. David said he likes you and he wants you. I don't have to say we're going to do this the easy way or the hard way because I know you want to do this the easy way. Come on, pull up. David waiting for you. She said, David? Pfft, say less. She pull up on David. They draft out a contract and go get permission from the government. And the government say, yeah, you can marry her. No, that's not what happened. A PDF, right? No, that's not what happened. They laid down together. She became his wife. Read on.
And she arose and bowed herself on her face to the earth and said, Behold, let thine handmaid be a servant to wash the feet of the servants of my Lord.
And this is another one too. Call your husband Lord every now and then, just a sidebar, because that's what she just called David her Lord. They even laid down yet. She said, "Look, I'll wash the feet of your servant to show you that I'm really about this." Read on.
And Abigail hasted and arose and rode upon an ass with 5 damsels of hers that went after her.
Mind you, and Abigail was rich and balling. She had 5 young virgins with her that were her servants. They said, "We finna go meet this man. Stop playing. This is a good man. This man anointed by God." Come on, read on.
And she went after the messengers of David and became his wife.
And did what?
And became his wife.
He cracked that too. In righteousness. They laid down and they was married. Come on, watch this.
David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives.
And wait. So he married Abigail. Sometime in the near future, in that time span, it said he also took Ahinoam of Jezreel. So he ended up with 2 wives in a semi-short time span. No contract needed for either one of them. But you know why? Because they understood this man is a righteous man and this man is a leader. Can we share him? Yeah, we can share him. That was the thought process. This is a good man. And you selfish if you don't want to share him, and I'm stupid if I don't see this great man in front of me and I don't want to be with him too. That's essentially what it was. Just a sidebar. But we saw there was no paperwork. There was nothing. They laid down. That's what it was. That was that. Again, we're going to get to what we need to get to in a minute. 1 Corinthians 6. I'm going to show you something else. 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Let's read verse 15 and 16.
There's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 15.
Come on.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot?
Right.
God forbid.
Right.
What? Know ye not that he which is joined unto an harlot is one body?
How can you be joined to a harlot? How can you be one flesh to a harlot? How can you be married to a harlot? What is he saying? You lay down with her, you got to stay down with her. Well, if you the temple of God, why would you make yourself one flesh to a harlot? What does that mean? You lay down with her. You sexing her. Now, we know literally you can't be a husband to a harlot, but the point that he's making is that would be considered marriage. I'm going to show you something else, though. Don't worry about it. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. Oh, no, wait. Before we go there, let's go to Genesis chapter 2. To the point of one flesh. Genesis 2 and 22. Read that when you got it.
There's the book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse 22.
Come on.
And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
Brought them together. Come on.
And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
Right.
She shall be called woman.
Right.
Because she was taken out of man.
Because she was taken from me. Come on.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife.
Cleave to his wife. Come on.
And they shall be one flesh.
They shall be what?
One flesh.
That's the point that's being made. How you going to be one flesh with a harlot? What is one flesh? You're married. How you going to be married with a harlot? Well, because when you would lay down, that was considered the act of the completion and consummation of marriage. But don't worry, I'm going to show you something else. Matthew 24. And 37. Matthew 24 and 37. We're going to read like 2 verses.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 37.
Come on.
But as the days of Noah were,
As the days of Noah was, come on.
so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
What happened?
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking,
And what?
marrying and giving in marriage.
Well, what's wrong with marriage? We read in Hebrews, marriage is honorable. What's wrong with people just marrying and being given unto marriage? What that mean? What was wrong with marrying? They was humping. That's when it says they were marrying, they was what they say in the South, they was hunching. They wasn't literally marrying. They was just laying down with one another. That was the sin. They was out there drinking and eating and partying and funning with one another. That's what was going on. I'm going to show you another one. John chapter 6. And I'm sorry, John chapter 4, excuse me. John chapter 4. And we're going to read verse 16 through 18. John 4 and 16.
This is the book of John, chapter 4 and verse 16. Yahushua HaMashiach said unto her, Go call thy husband and come hither. The woman
Salakia. Christ telling this woman who's talking to him at the well, go tell your husband, come over here and come holler at me, right? Read.
The woman answered and said, I have no husband.
She said, wait, husband? I'm not married. What you talking about? Watch this, read.
Yahushua said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband.
You're right, you don't have a husband. Read.
For thou hast had 5 husbands.
You got 5 of them. Read.
And he whom thou now hast is not thy husband.
And the nigga you just laid with ain't even your man. Wait. Huh? But I thought that wasn't marriage. I thought that wasn't the consummation of marriage. What just... Read that from the top. Verse 16.
Verse 16. Yahushua said unto her, Go call thy husband and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahushua said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands.
You have had 5 husbands. Read.
And he whom thou now hast is not thy husband.
Why? Because if these men were all dead, the scriptures say you're loose from the covenant of marriage. So what is it implying? All of these men is alive, and you're a filthy whore. That's what's being said right here. You don't have one husband. You're right. You have 5 husbands. You have had 5 husbands. What does that mean? You'd have been bust down by 5 different dudes. And the dude you messing with now ain't even your husband. Why? Because you was laying with them other dudes before. But why did he word it that way? Because he understands that if you lay down, you stay down. And if you lay down, that is marriage. That's why it was worded that way. Yeah, you've had 5 husbands. And that one, he ain't even yours. How did you have 5 husbands? No, you done laid with 5 dudes. You done consummated with 5 dudes, is what it's saying. That's them women that said, oh, I was just in love with all my boyfriends and I was just young and dumb. No. Yeah. Now, back to what was expressed earlier. This is the importance of having a father figure that is looking out for you. Because marriage is honorable. And marriage is a big deal. And this is why you need to make sure that you pick the right one. Because look at our community today. And this is why it's so important to understand why sex is marriage, because it causes you to think twice before physically committing yourself to someone. Because if you lay down and we all really press the line on keeping these laws and we say, no, yo, you gonna stay over there. A lot of people would think twice before they lay down with someone because they're like, yeah, nah, that's not wife material. Yeah, nah, I don't want that. It's a safety valve. It's a safety net for the nation as a whole, but especially the women, because niggas is gonna nig. In Israel today, niggas be nigging. Let's go to Sirach 42. Because this is now the scripture that they go to. See, even the Bible tells you that you need to make sure that you have a contract. The scriptures tell you that you need to have a ketubah. In the Jewish culture, they have a ketubah. That wasn't always the case, and it's not mandatory. And that's not the same as having a marriage certificate with the state. Something completely different. Let's go to Sirach 42 and 7. And I'll speak on it in a second, so nobody twist my words and say that, I'm just a filthy, whoremongering whore man that just wants to sleep with women and not take care of them and play video games all day while they go to work and give me all their money. So let's go to Sirach 42. Let's deal with it.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 42 and verse 7.
Read that.
Deliver all things in number and weight, and put in all writing that thou givest out.
See, God said put everything in writing. Yes, that's not mandated, though. This is wisdom being given because it makes sense to always have a paper trail. So when you draft out a contract and you draft out something, and it says boom, 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 that is the equivalent to a vow. And now we see your vow. You can't get out of that vow. And it's going to be owed. Because why? Because niggas is going to nig. That's why. So, is it wisdom? Yes. Is it law? No. If you lay down with one another and you decide we didn't have a contract, are you now not married? No. If you lay down with one another and it's, well, I didn't get the permission from her daddy, are y'all not married? No, that's not how that works. This is wisdom, and this is how you prevent situations or prevent issues. You should do this. But would it be wrong if you didn't? No, it would be dumb, but it wouldn't be wrong. Again, let's remove how I feel. Let's remove my emotions. Let's remove my feelings, and let's deal with what the scriptures say. That's what we must do at all times. Forget what I feel. Let's see what the scriptures say. And the scriptures say, it ain't mandated, but clearly it's wisdom being given to avoid a bunch of situations. Just like the argument of, oh, you need to have a job before you have a wife. That's not law. No, you don't. Would it be smart? Absolutely. Because the scriptures also give you the wisdom of a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of reproach and content and two other words. Basically, you gonna have hell in your household if you ain't providing for your woman. And when she don't respect you and she giving you hell, which, by the way, is still wrong. I just want to let y'all know that. It's still sin. But the wisdom of the Bible is telling you the way that things work, the way that the practice of the law, when all these different variables come in, you will run into these issues. So it would be best if you moved in wisdom than to move in foolishness and be like, technically, according to the law, I didn't have to, or stupid. The scripture's telling you don't be stupid. So same thing here with like contracts. Telling you don't be stupid. It's not, but it's not that it's mandated. Tobit 7 and 13. We'll read 7 and 13 and 14. And there's 2 points to this particular scripture. Let's read that when you got it.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 7 and verse 13. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand, and gave her to be to wife to Tobias, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father.
Right.
And he blessed them, and called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants, and sealed it.
So they wrote a contract. Two things. Number one, there's not a marriage certificate between a man or woman and the government. So you don't need a marriage certificate. If you choose to, I'm not saying you're wrong or you're in sin. But what I'm saying is, do not teach and push to people it's not marriage unless the government says so. Because by law, that is not what God considers a marriage. As a matter of fact, this next scripture will clear it up for you. Go to Deuteronomy 22. What is the marriage contract, marriage certificate, proof of marriage, token of the agreement, token of covenant? What is that according to what God said? But let's get it. Deuteronomy 22, verse 13.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 13. If any man take a wife and go in unto her.
So if any man take a wife, take a woman, and lay down with her, sleep with her. I was going to say something funny, but I don't want to get in trouble. Lay down with her, read on.
And hate her.
And then so he lay down with her, and he like, because here's the thing. To hate her don't literally mean to hate her. But you must hate a woman in order for you to lay down with her and then want to get rid of her, now causing her to be defiled. Because you lay with her and now she's no longer a virgin. So if she lay down with another man and they find out this uncleanness, oh, he lay with her, he got rid of her, oh, she no good. Now she's probably just going to be trash, right? You got to hate a woman to do something like that. So say you lay down with her, you lay down and you just like, I got some post-nut clarity and right, that's what it's called. I feel like, that's when a woman rolls over. So what are we? What are we? We are humans. You get to that space where like, so what you about to do? Like, you hate her and you don't want to do right by her and you want to get rid of her, right? You done with her, so now you making up stuff. All right, let's okay, I'm gonna stop playing. Let's really get to the law. It says if a man lay down with a woman and if a man lay down with a woman and then down the road or afterwards he hates her, read.
And give occasions of speech against her.
Now this man lying, because I'm trying to get about this marriage. I'm trying to get about this situation because I ain't really, I heard, look, I lay with her, but see, I thought that she was a virgin. Come to find out, she done already laid with another person. She been messing around with somebody else. I'm throwing that away. I'm good on that. I'm not. If a man decides to do that, read.
And bring up an evil name upon her.
And you decide to lie on her and slander her name because you're trying to get up out of this situation. Come on.
And say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid.
Man, she ain't even up. You told me you was a virgin. You told me you never did this before. She lying. Watch this, read.
Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto
Wait. Let's slow it down. We got to slow down right here. This is very important. The parents will take the token of her virginity. What is that? oh, we drafted up a contract and we got it sealed and stamped and written. No. Watch this. Read on.
Take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity
Uh-huh.
unto the elders
So
of,
they're going to take it to the elders, the leaders. Read.
of the city
Of
in
the whole
gate.
city. Come on.
And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her.
This nigga lying. She is a virgin. I have the proof. Read on.
And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity.
Watch this. What are you going to do?
And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city.
Spread the what?
The cloth before the elders of the city.
What's that cloth? Anybody know what that is? Not you. And what's the cloth? The bed sheet. Why? With what? Why? But why? Why? But no. But why? What? Where does what's the blood from? But when does that happen? No. But when? At what point does a hymen get broken? Yes, but what? Let me see how I can word this. What does the woman have to be in order to have her hymen broken? She needs to be a virgin. So the woman, when she lays down with a man for the first time, this is why you shouldn't be busting it open for everybody, because the reason why the Lord gave you a hymen to break is so. Remember this. Every single contract and covenant God made had what? Blood. The contract with Abraham was blood, the circumcision. The contract with Israel in Exodus 24, blood. Sprinkle the blood on Israel to sign that contract. The contract of marriage is, for man and woman, blood. When the hymen gland pops or breaks and the blood gets on the bed sheet as a proof that I went into this woman and she was a virgin. Wasn't no contract. The signing of the contract was that bed sheet. It was that simple. You lay down, she bleed on that sheet, it's official. This is why you weren't supposed to be sleeping around, because that had to be saved for a. Who knows the significance? I'm pretty sure you do. Who knows the significance of a blood contract? In the movies, the mafia movies and stuff like that, what does that signify? Till death. It's forever. So you want to know why the hymen gland popping was because it was supposed to be till death and forever. So you shouldn't be sleeping with a dude that you got butterflies for. Oh, I loved him, and he loved me, and I didn't want him to leave me, so I just let him. This is why you needed your daddy. If that nigga threatened you like that, you knew he wasn't gonna be around much longer anyway. That hymen gland being broken was the blood in, blood out. You didn't have to have a wedding stand before each other. Till death do us part, in sickness and in health, through rich and through poor, I vow to submit. And you didn't have to do that. The moment y'all laid down, and you, in layman's terms, for those who don't understand, you popped her cherry, that blood got on the sheet, they folded it up, they gave it to the parent, and they said, contract has been sealed. And now it's blood in, blood out. The only way you free from this is if he die. That was how. That was the significance of today it can be like, oh, I like you, you like me, let's go to Vegas, sign this contract, get married. All right, irreconcilable differences. Let's get a divorce. How the hell is the government going to determine what a righteous union is when you can just divorce because I'm mad at you? We wasn't seeing eye to eye. Ain't no eye to eye to see. What your husband say, that's what it is. How you going to allow a government that allows marriages that are prohibited and condemned in the scriptures, they allow those to be marriages? And they get to say what is a righteous union and what's not? Just think about it. Just think about it. So according to the scriptures, you don't need this. Can you do it? Yeah. Can you get the certificate? Yeah. Can you make a contract? Yes. Is it mandated? Does it determine whether or not you will be married? No. God determines that through the breaking of the hymen gland, the laying down one to another. That blood covenant trumps all of the other stuff. Now, you got to ask the father's permission. You got to have a job. You got to this. You got to do that. That's not what the Bible says. It don't say it. Should you do this as a preventative measure? Absolutely. But don't add to go to Revelation 22. I ain't even going to quote it. We're going to go to it. Revelation 22. Read verse 19, please. 22 and verse 19. Let me make sure that's what I want. 18. Let's read verse 18, Salakia.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book.
These are the words of Yahweh Shai. Come on.
If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book.
Don't add to the Bible. Don't add to the law. If that ain't what the law or if that ain't what the scriptures say, don't add that to the scriptures. It's a sin. You got certain congregations out there today. I was watching a video just the other day. Oh, y'all whoremongers and fornicators and sinners because that's why y'all want to have more than one wife. If y'all want that discipline and y'all want to sin like that, you got camps like that. Don't add to the law. If it's a preference, say we here at this congregation, our protocol is boom, boom, boom. Don't add to the law. Don't lie on God. Remove your emotions. Let's deal with objective truth. But don't lie on God. I said this the other day. Emotions get you killed. Emotions get you killed in the world because there's been a lot of men that have got killed over getting overly emotional. Niggas in jail right now because they said, man, I was mad and I made a dumb decision. People that lost their sons, their daughters because people have gotten emotional and gotten themselves killed. In the Bible, there are examples of people allowing their emotions to get them killed. I can't remember the man's name, but if you go read in the book of Samuel, when we got the ark back, there was a man from the tribe of Judah that decided he was going to do a good deed, so he thought, when they were bringing the ark back to, I think it was Nob. They was bringing it to. And the ox or the donkey or whatever it was that the ark was on, nigga hit a pothole. The ox or the donkey hit a pothole. Boom. Ark of the Covenant looked like it's about to fall. It's about to go down. Old boy from Judah, oh no, I'm going to try to catch it. Here's the problem with that. The Lord already put the law out there. If you touch this ark and you're not a Levite, you're going to die. Thought he was doing a good deed, preventing the most sacred thing we own, the ark. It cannot fall and break. He died. As soon as his died. Emotions going to get you killed. Emotions will spiritually get you killed. Stop lying on God because this is something you want to teach. If you want to teach it as a preference. Don't teach it as a law. Because you add to the law, you'll die. Emotions get you killed. Opinions get you killed. So, according to the Bible, sex is both fornication and marriage, pursuant to the scriptures and the understanding that was given tonight. If there are any questions, y'all can feel free to ask. The covenant of marriage was the bed sheet. According to Torah, according to the law, once a man and a woman lay down together, they are married. Or they're fornicators if they decide to walk away and say, oh, no strings attached, it's okay. So, according to the law, you lay down, you stay down. Sex is the consummation, the completion of marriage. If two consenting adults decide, I want to be with you, I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to perform the duties of a husband, I'm going to take care of you, I want to protect you, I want to provide for you. The sister says, I'm going to submit to you, and I'm going to do all within my power to be a virtuous woman. And they lay down together, it's sealed. You don't need no contract. You don't need no certificate from the government. You don't need none of that. Pursuant to the scriptures. Not how I feel, not my opinion. I didn't put my opinion in none of this. Hopefully there was some edification given tonight. Y'all make sure to tune in tomorrow. Bishop Yaziquel has class at 2:30 Pacific Standard, 5:30 Eastern. That is War for the Kingdom. Bishop Desire Feed the Sheep, you already know what it is. 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. And let me go ahead and run the rundowns while I'm at it. Every first Monday, we got Bible Q&A. Every Monday after that, Los Discípulos de la Palabra, which is our Spanish class. Every Tuesday, Bible Basic. Every Wednesday, World History According to the Bible. Every Thursday, second and fourth Thursday, we have Stick to the Script. Every Friday, we got the lineup, The Blue Strip with Apostle Yashimai. Room 144 with either Bishop Izar, our lead Apostle Ash, or Bishop Banaya. And then we close it out with my segment, Sound Doctrine. Then Saturday, we have War for the Kingdom with Bishop Yaziquel out in Georgia, as well as Feed the Sheep, which is our final closing Sabbath class with Bishop Tazayuan Ariala. Y'all got any questions? Reach us at, is that what it is now, Sarah? Reach us at True Nation? Something fancy. Y'all done switched it on us. Hold on, let me. No, the email. Because remember, it was reply at True Nation for the longest, and I think we just made an adjustment. Let me see if I can pull it up. I want to say it was Reach Us at True Nation. Dag nabbit, Shahad. Shahad sent it to me the other day, too. It's Reach Us, right? Okay, all praise to the Most High. Salakia family. So, if you guys got any questions, reach us at truenation.org. If you guys want boots on the ground in your states, boots on the ground in your city, if you have questions about becoming a member, if you have questions about how you can contribute to the ministry and the works as we continue to gather the lost sheep of the house of Israel, reach us at truenation.org. Continue to tap in. Continue to feed y'all spirits. If you haven't yet, make sure you like the video and share this daily bread because the people need this understanding. This is the foundation. Like I said, marriage is honorable because marriage is the foundation of the nation. A good marriage, a number of good marriages creates a good community. A number of good communities creates a great nation. That's, in a nutshell, what it is. If all the marriages are screwed up in the community, guess what? The entire community, the entire nation is going to be screwed up. So marriage, as simple as it may sound, it is one of the most pertinent and one of the most complex things in Israel, and a lot of people are doing it the wrong way, and they failing right now. And we got to get our people up out of that mindset so we can get our spirit right, our nation right, so we can get the hell up out of here and get back in the power where the Most High wants us to be. So with that, we love y'all, Israel. It's been another segment of Sound Doctrine with your boy, Darash. Lord willing, I'll see y'all next week. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, Israel. Shalom.